These celebrities are millionaires today, but some of them grew up with absolutely nothing. We're talking about living in cars, going hungry, and growing up in environments filled with violence. And the most shocking part? Some of these stories are hard to even believe. And story number one is simply unbelievable. Before fame, their reality was very different. Many of them grew up in extremely poor neighborhoods, facing hardships that most people will never understand. But even so, they managed to change everything. And today, we're going to look at celebrities who were extremely poor before fame. And starting our list, 10. Jim Carrey today. Jim Carrey is one of the most famous and successful actors in Hollywood. But his childhood was completely different from that. His family lived with very little, and everything got worse when his father lost his job. Before long, they had lost almost everything, and the situation reached an extreme point. The entire family ended up living in a van. With no stability, no comfort, just trying to survive. To help at home, Jim dropped out of school and started working as a janitor and security guard. But even in the middle of all that, he never gave up on his biggest dream, making people laugh. And years later, that same dream completely changed his life. But the next story takes place in one of the most dangerous environments in the United States. 9. Jay-Z. Before becoming one of the richest rappers and businessmen in the world, Jay-Z had an extremely difficult childhood. He grew up in the famous Marcy housing projects in Brooklyn, an area marked by poverty, violence, and drug trafficking. With very few opportunities around him, the young Sean Carter had to grow up very quickly to deal with the harsh reality of the neighborhood where he lived. Music eventually became a way to escape that environment and express everything he was living through and feeling. Over time, his lyrics came to reflect those exact experiences. Today, Jay-Z is one of the biggest names in the music industry and a true symbol of overcoming adversity. Now, leaving the streets of New York behind, the next story shows a different kind of hardship. 8. Shania Twain's childhood was also far from easy. Growing up in the small town of Timmins, Canada, she lived in a family that often faced financial hardship. Many times, there was very little food at home, and family conflicts were constant. While still a child, Twain began singing in local bars to help support her family. Even at a very young age, she already understood that music could be the only way to change her reality. With talent and a great deal of determination, Shania eventually turned those simple performances into an international career, becoming one of the most successful artists in country music. But while some struggled against a lack of money, others faced something even more dangerous. 7. Kendrick Lamar grew up in the city of Compton, a neighborhood known for violence, gangs, and financial hardship. From an early age, he lived with poverty, staying in public housing and facing situations that many people cannot even imagine. Despite the dangerous environment, Kendrick found in music a way to express his emotions and escape the harsh reality around him. He started writing and rapping while still young, turning his feelings into art. Today, Kendrick is considered one of the most influential rappers of his generation, using his life experiences to inspire millions of fans around the world. And the next story is one of the hardest to believe. 6. Viola Davis. Oscar-winning actress Viola Davis had a childhood marked by extreme poverty. Her family faced very harsh conditions, often living in rat-infested homes and having to search for food in trash cans. From a very young age, Viola realized that life would not be easy, but she turned every hardship into motivation. Over the years, she became a powerful voice against child hunger and inequality, showing that it is possible to turn suffering into strength. Today, her story inspires people all around the world, proving that determination and resilience can overcome any obstacle. But not all hardships come from extreme poverty. Some begin inside the home. 5. Demi Moore faced an unstable childhood. An unstable childhood. Some begin inside the home. 5. Demi Moore faced an unstable childhood. Demi Moore faced an unstable childhood. Growing up in poverty and in a family marked by hardship, including her stepfather's alcoholism, she had to adapt to constant moves and face emotional challenges from a very early age. Those experiences shaped her strength and her ability to reinvent herself, qualities she later used to build a successful career in Hollywood. Despite the adversity, Demi turned the pain and instability of her childhood into fuel for her artistic journey, proving that great talent can emerge even from difficult circumstances. And the next name grew up facing rejection, instability, and a great deal of pressure. 4. Eminem. Before becoming one of the most famous rappers in the world, Eminem went through a childhood marked by poverty, instability, and bullying. Raised by his single mother in poor neighborhoods of Detroit, he faced violence, constant moves, and extreme financial hardship. Between one school and another, young Marshall dedicated his free time to music, writing lyrics and taking part in rap battles. Those experiences not only shaped his aggressive and honest style, but also motivated him to fight for a better future. Today, Eminem is one of the most influential artists in the history of hip-hop, turning pain into success. But long before hip-hop, another name was already facing similar hardships. 3. Elvis Presley. Even though he became one of the greatest legends in music, Elvis Presley grew up in very humble conditions. His family lived in a small two-room house and often depended on help from neighbors and the government to survive. During his childhood, Presley faced challenges such as extreme poverty, difficulties at school, and family problems, but he found in music an escape and a passion he never gave up on. Young Elvis's natural talent and determination turned every obstacle into fuel for his career, taking him from a simple childhood in Mississippi to the status of a global music icon. And the next story shows that poverty does not always mean a childhood without hope. 2. Celine Dion. Celine Dion grew up in a large family with 13 siblings and under very tight financial conditions. Despite having very little money, she remembers having a happy childhood and a strong family bond. From a very young age, Dion began singing in the small church in her community and later in her family's piano bar, earning her first few dollars. Music was always her hope and motivation. Over time, her talent caught the attention of professionals in the industry. And even while facing financial hardship, she took the first step toward an international career, becoming one of the most recognizable voices in the world. Before revealing the most impressive stories, we want to hear from you. Which of these stories surprised you the most? Tell us in the comments. We want to know which of these celebrities inspired you the most. And don't stop here. If you enjoy discovering behind-the-scenes details and inspiring celebrity stories, subscribe to Celebrity Stories, but none of these stories comes close to what you're about to see. Now, 1. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey had a childhood marked by extreme poverty that went far beyond the lack of money. It was the near total absence of dignity, comfort, and security. At a very young age, she was sent to live with her grandmother in a remote rural area where life was harsh and unforgiving. There were no proper clothes, and many times she had to wear dresses made from potato sacks, something that not only exposed her condition but also made her a target of humiliation. While other children had toys, Oprah created her own from whatever she could find, like corn cobs, showing early signs of creativity born out of necessity. The house she lived in was simple, lacking basic resources, and scarcity was part of her everyday life. There were days when food was limited, and the constant feeling was one of survival, not childhood. On top of that, she grew up in an unstable environment and later faced abuse that left deep emotional scars. Yet, in the middle of so much pain and deprivation, something inside her refused to give up. Oprah found refuge in words, in reading, and in her imagination. Tools that allowed her to mentally escape that harsh reality, even if only for a moment. Over time, that inner strength turned into determination. Every hardship that could have broken her instead became fuel for her rise. She didn't just overcome her past, she used it as the foundation to build one of the most remarkable success stories in modern history. From an invisible and painful childhood, Oprah rose to become one of the most influential women in the world, a true global icon of television and philanthropy. Her story is not just inspiring, it is a powerful reminder that even in the darkest conditions, courage, resilience, and the will to succeed can completely rewrite a person's destiny.